Hey, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to this week's webcast of BeHIP. It's me, Randy, and to my, will it be y'all left? No, will it be y'all right?
Right.
Is Darylisha.
Hello. Today we're going to talk about different generations and what we kind of get some feedback between the different generations. And we have also...
Yep, we got three young men over here. They're all my young cousins. Yep. Yeah, let's start with the first one. Come on, this is Rick.
It's Rick.
Yep. Rayshawn.
Rayshawn.
And
TJ.
what did he say his name?
TJ.
TJ.
TJ. We have TJ today.
I'm tripped out because he was to say he want me to say his name.
What's your government name, TJ?
So my real name is Taariq.
Okay, all right. Okay, thank you. We all giving government names today. All right, so how are we going to start this off? Let's just we can talk about generations, just different generations. So I believe that you guys are Generation Z, so they say. So everybody across this board, you three gentlemen, are from the Z generation, which is what, the 90s babies?
I'm like 1999.
2000. So what year were you born?
2000.
2000. Okay.
2001.
2001. Okay.
1999.
1999.
Okay. Yep. So.
All right. And I kind of put myself in the category of, even though it says millennial, I don't believe I'm millennial because of the acts that I strive by. I believe that I'm a Generation X, but however, I was born in '83, which falls under the millennial. And Randy, what generation?
I would be, well, when I looked it up, and I understand it, I don't really understand it because I graduated high school in 2000.
Okay.
So we were supposed to self-proclaim be the first year of the millennial. Okay. But I don't understand it because I kind of like you because I don't even share like a lot of what they, I'm like, no.
Listen.
So I might be even like a baby boomer.
When they break down the categories and the different things about the different generations, my beliefs and where I kind of guide my life falls under the Generation X. It doesn't fall under the millennial. I deal with adults today. I teach in an adult environment. I teach at a trade school, and definitely I deal with millennials all day. And sometimes I have to go in my office and I just be like, let me, catch my bearings because, I feel like the millennials feel entitled. The young generation feel entitled. They don't want to work for things. And I'm not trying to step on y'all toes over there, but they just feel like they're entitled. I just was brought up in a generation where you had to work for things. You got certain things, but get you a job, be independent, have certain things. I got my first job at 14. I was washing dishes. I used to make $75 a weekend. You couldn't tell me nothing. And before that, after that, during high school, I worked at Dairy Queen. So, I felt like I just need to make my own money. When I would come to my parents, I'd be like, I need so-and-so. They'd be like, well, why do you need that? Never mind. Let me go work, and I can get my own money. So, I guess we can talk about, first question is just feel that do you guys feel entitled? Do you feel like you should just, it should just fall in your lap, or do you feel that you need to work for something?
No. Well, for me, first, I don't think it's just the whole generation. I think it's just certain people. I think it's just certain people in each generation. Okay. I feel like they entitled to everything. Because us three, we've been working for his pops. We've been doing shovel snow, right?
That's that old school mentality.
Grass, they're all that. And my friends, they done stuff like that too. My friends even asked, can they cut my grass before multiple times? So I don't really think it's a generation thing. I think that each generation got that type of person in their generation.
Okay. Anybody else?
No, he said it all.
And he said it all? So all of you guys, would you say all of you guys have done like, not maybe work the actual job, but when you have those times where we change through different seasons because we're in Michigan, you rake leaves, you shovel snow, you cut lawns, you have the ability to be able to work, have the independence to get your own, and know what the value of $1 is, without your parents just having to give you money. Would you say that? Do you guys know the value of money without a parent giving it to you, like actually working for something?
Oh, yes.
How do you feel when you work for something and you're able to get through some labor? Okay.
I like that word.
Yeah.
More accomplished.
Yeah.
Dependent.
Okay. You feel more dependent. Yeah. I mean, that's the feeling that it should bring. Everything doesn't just fall into your lap, I think. You know, I think sometimes you just have to work for things. And I know that when I work independently, meaning that I don't ask my parents for anything, because, I mean, even though I'm an adult, that doesn't mean that you don't ask your parents for anything. But when I don't ask my parents for things and I go out and I do it on my own, I feel more accomplished. I feel really good. Like, yes, I did this on my own. It's on my fruits of labor. I didn't have to ask anybody to do it. I feel more independent. Would you guys say that?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Does anybody work a job?
Well, I had a job.
Okay. So you worked before?
Oh yeah, I worked at McDonald's for like 8 months.
Okay.
You know, I got myself in there.
Okay.
But you know, they was doing some iffy stuff.
Okay.
So I got out of there. Then right after that, found another job quick, but they wanted to hire me on the spot, but they ain't really meet they ain't have what I was looking for. So I turned them down.
Okay.
So
So what are you looking for when you look for a job? What are some of the things you look for?
Just to pay me. They trying to pay me under minimum wage.
Okay.
So, and not all jobs don't pay all jobs because I'm a minor. So they trying to pay me under minimum wage. And that's not right, because I got friends that get paid minimum wage, and I work harder than them at my job. So I'm like, oh, no.
Absolutely. Look at that. Knowing that, I wouldn't take anything that's under minimum wage. You know, by law, I feel that, you know, you should be able to take what they give you as far as the law, minimum wage. So if there's minimum wage, anything under that, I wouldn't subject anybody to things like that. You know, I deal with students that I deal with as far as payments and things. I work at a trade school. And the first thing I tell my students, I work in what's called like a career service. So it's placement, finding them jobs, preparing them, doing mock interviews, getting them prepared, making sure their resumes are where they need to be. And that's the number one thing I tell people. If they're going to like lowball them with money, I'm like, no, you're not taking that. We're just going to move to the next level. You know, because I mean, you do have places that's going to give you that underball. They want to pay you either under the table or they're going to pay you less than with minimum wage. And that's good that you know that. So that's good. Yeah. Absolutely. So let's get a little deeper. So, you know,
Let's
get a little deeper, you know. As far as let's dig a little deeper as far as, you know, what state of mind you gentlemen are at in this day and age.
Let's start with Taariq.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that got me off guard a little bit.
Yeah, that's what it's supposed to do.
Gina, you're the oldest on the couch between the three. You know, where's your mind now? Where do you see yourself? What are your goals? Are you dating? You know, what are those
that type
things?
Of thing? Actually, no, I'm not single.
Okay.
And I choose to be single until, you know, I find that right one. You know what I'm saying? The way I'm thinking right now is, and that's actually a really hard question because I'm really trying to just pick out. Can y'all come back to me? I want to like think on this like before me.
Okay, you know, and I know it's a hard thing when I think about it, and I deal with students that's in your age bracket. So when I sit down with them and I meet with them, I talk about what are your goals, what are your short-term goals, and what are your long-term goals. So that's just something that maybe you can think about. Where do you see yourself? What do you want to do with yourself? What are those things? You know, gentlemen, where do we see ourselves?
Well, me, I just talked about how I had a job at McDonald's.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so it was this dude, the owner. It was a black dude that owned like 12 McDonald's.
Yeah.
His name was I ain't gonna say his name. He owned like 12 McDonald's, and you know what I'm saying, him being a black man, you know, mostly all black people working in stores, you know, he just like, bro, treated like crap. I couldn't believe that. Like, dang, that's messed up. So for me, like I'm like, when I graduate, I'm not working for nobody. I don't want to work for nobody.
Okay.
So I'm gonna open up my own business. I ain't gonna say what it is.
Okay. People. So you want to open up your own business?
Yeah, me and Rayshawn and my brother gonna open up, and my sister on it too. She want to do it too, cause to me, like working for somebody, that's just not. You start, but don't get comfortable. You know, in the environment for working somebody. You know, you should leave something for your kids, and something for your grandkids. You know.
Okay.
Now I do got somebody that just said something. I'm only going to get to the comment.
Okay.
He said it seems that and I'm thinking referring to this work in itself. He said it seems that they tried to take advantage of. It seemed like they tried to take advantage of the little brother, presuming that he's talking to you. So he did right by not accepting it, but one must now know. I'm believing okay. I'm sorry. You know, I know how people. You know, you kind of type before everything come out.
Mm-hmm.
But he's trying to say that it's like you gotta crawl before you walk.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, you know, some people, you know, you just can't jump into the deep water if you don't know how to swim. You know what I'm saying? So I believe that's what he was saying right there. Setting goals. He got another one. He said setting goals must incorporate inside the home first, just as a 401k.
Absolutely. 401k. You dropped a 401k. I drop that with my students every time. Do you know what a 401k is? And they look at me and they're like, you know, it's saving for yourself in the future. You know, in this world, you know, as the years go on, we think about how much value of a dollar increase. You know, think about when you could be able to buy 4 bags of chips with $1 versus where you are now, where how many bags of the quarter chips you get now? 2. They say 59 cents or 2 for $1. Okay. So if you think about it, when you retire, you get what's called a Social Security and a pension. Okay. But it's a set amount. So that means that as the years go on, the increase of life goes up. So the cost of things goes up, but your money still stays the same. So it's always good for you to have what's called a 401k. That's something that supplements. And it supplements that amount that you could be able to afford as the time go on and things increases. And you can't draw from it until you're 60, I believe 65 is the earliest that you could draw from it. So it's like you're putting money away that you can't touch. And so when you retire, you can pull from that, and it's tax-free. So they don't tax it. You know, when you get a check and you see the taxes that come all out of the money, and you're like, oh, I made $500, but after taxes, I made $3. Okay? They don't tax on that. So that's what he's talking about when he says 401k. So those are things that, and we don't talk about that. If you really think about it, we don't talk about that in society. We don't talk about that. I get students that say, oh, I'm making $12 an hour, but I'm not going to take that job. I want 13. Let's really break this down. The difference between 13 and 12, by the time the taxes, the government come in and tax you, it's pretty much, you make it maybe like, you know, $100 difference when you really think about it, from a $12 to a 13. I say, and I always tell them, think about the other benefits, which is called fringe benefits that you get, which is like a 401k, vacation time, sick time, you know, health insurance. Those are things that you need to think about. So yeah, they may be paying you $12 an hour, but you're getting all these benefits. So really it kind of balances out to maybe $18 an hour, but you're only getting actually 12 after you pay all of those things that you have. And then y'all looking at me like, what? But you'll later get it when you get older and you really start working and start accepting jobs and seeing what they have to offer. Like, honestly. So let's dig in a little bit deeper and let's dig in, because you guys are all males. Let's dig into the things that you think about as far as the opposite sex. You guys are, I guess, Generation Z.
No, that's not the question.
That's
not the question.
What question?
We gonna see ourselves.
Yeah, we go. Yeah, we all see ourselves.
Yeah. So I think he want to own his own business. He want to own his own business.
I I'm still.
Well, you know what
And
the good thing
it's okay.
is? The good thing is that you're young.
Yep.
Good thing is that you're young. And I can
Absolutely.
tell you, going through college and, you know, seeing people, I've seen people change their majors, I don't know how many times,
Listen.
because they didn't know really what they wanted to do. But the best thing you could do in regards to being honest with yourself is be honest with yourself.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what I'm going to do. You know, yeah, I have people that didn't go to college. They're like, I don't want to go to college.
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing the military. I got a friend right now, he's about to retire. He already got his 40 years in. He's not even 40. 39 years old. He's about to retire from the military. So, every, you know, like I said, remember that every path, the good thing about everybody is every path is different. So, 4-year college may not be for you, but you got to have a plan. That's the thing. People just can't like, well, college ain't for me. Like, okay, but what's your plan to do? Okay.
Are you going to do a trade?
Are you
going to
do
go to the
other
military?
What
are you going to do with your stuff?
Just can't stop.
You got to think
then
about.
When you have it, just knowing what you want to do is like the first part about it. Like, you know, I want to have my own business. And one thing I did want to get in contact with you on what you said before is that you don't want to work for nobody. That's impossible. That's an impossible thing to say. You'll never work for nobody. If you got your own business, you work for the customer. You're always going to be working for somebody. You always got to remember that. You know, because I know people, I don't want to answer to nobody. You answer to somebody. You got to.
That customer ain't paying for them that merchandise or that service that you have to offer.
Somebody, you know what I'm saying?
You're not making no money.
Hey, well, I ain't asking nobody. You know, this and that. Even if you do investing, you got people that are professional investors. That's all they do. You know what I mean? If the customer, if there's no profit being made, they don't get no money.
About that. That was a good point.
So just understand that. So remember, it's somebody you always got to be responsible for. That you know you're gonna be accountable for. That's why I love this economy, because it all steers upon everybody else. You can't just like, oh, I'm gonna make money out through osmosis. It ain't gonna happen like that. You know, something's gotta be a cause and effect. So
that's true.
But I love the fact that you got, you know, the mentality of having your own business. But understand, there's no such thing as too many streams of income. I think that's what a lot of people, you know, said to them too. They're like, oh man, I'm gonna do this. Like, you know, like I know she graduated from Michigan State, right? I graduated from Ferris State. The first thing I did is when I graduated, I got right into my field. I was a GM. I got right into it. I was sitting there, I'm like, oh yeah, good, making, you know what I'm saying, 60 plus. And I said, I hate this. I hated every moment of it. I was like, what is this, man? I hate this, man. I'm in here, you know, thinking you're making money. And then the first thing I found out when they tell you what your salary is, it's never what you're making. Okay? That's just always on paper. Like, oh man, you making 60? Yeah, no, I ain't making 60. I'm making somewhere in the neighborhood about 49 and a little bit lower, because good old Uncle Sam's tax.
Uncle Sam would take it right on out of you. Listen.
Real quick. That's the instant jack. Like,
I get what I make, what I grow.
What just happened?
That net pay, I say, oh my goodness. Uncle Sam, why do you do me like this?
What is this?
And then when people say, oh, I can't wait for my taxes, and I look at them and I'm like, I'm in no rush to file my taxes. They're like, what? Why? Because I'm not getting, I might get a couple hundred back, if that, you know. So you got to think about those things.
And if you're single,
listen,
you
no
really
children,
no children. Oh my goodness.
Listen.
I ain't saying go have no kids.
Don't have no.
Stay away from that.
Yeah. But I mean,
I've been telling you, you just open
they
up
get the
the
taxes.
world.
That little heart be broke. When you see that check, that net comes.
You're like, wait a minute.
I thought you said I was gonna be making X, Y, Z.
Because the first thing I did, I remember looking, hold on, this ain't matching up with this. And then, good old, after a while, you know, Sally Mae called you.
Hello. Are you ready to make your loan payment?
Payment of $800 a month. Like,
800.
800.
I need your payment $800 a month, and I'm like, look.
You got to balance that out.
Salary.
The
salary over here, and my life, the way it's set up, my bank account ain't set up to give you $800.
Yes. Oh, I gotta pay the rent too. Oh, cell phone. Whoa, yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Don't forget, internet is a new bill.
Yeah, it is. It is.
So, I mean, we ain't telling y'all, but it's just amazing when you realize how much as a kid you didn't have to be responsible for it. You know what I'm saying? You getting there like, man, I ain't never had to worry about that. You know what I'm saying? And then coming to it, like I said, I had a family. So it ain't I don't feel like going to work because 5 other people got to eat. You know, so it's deep. And I know when you was talking, just talking about, one of the things I did want to bring y'all attention, I had a question for y'all about is now, and this is real, and I'm gonna be honest with it. I work with kids all the time through my nonprofit there, forever. From coaching football, from mentoring, still do it. The biggest thing I realized is that, and I'm hoping I'm starting to see a trend, kind of start to increase, is that the women, the young women, are becoming more educated than the young men. Like when it comes to getting associates, then bachelors, then masters, women are totally getting more and seeking higher education more than men. And they just think the education aspect of it is everything. It's like the drive for women are a little bit higher than it is for the men. How would y'all answer that? Do you think that you see more women with a little bit more drive than the men in y'all generation?
Yeah.
Why do you think that?
Why do you say? What extra push does a young lady have that a young male wouldn't have to make them drive towards that?
Yeah, because y'all seem like some guys that pretty much got a good head on y'all shoulders. What do you see that will make you say, yeah, no reason why they got to, why they the women is working harder because blah 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 blah. Do you see something in men, guys that y'all around that you be like, come on, bro, what's your problem?
I mean, it's probably, the things that push them is maybe reasons personally. You know what I'm saying? Then you have society is always, put in a male's name first before a female's name anyway. So that could be one of the other reasons for them to try to, prove they're just as equal, because that type of thing is still going on, like that sexualism thing or whatever. Like that type of thing is like still going heavy right now. A lot of people be blind to it because you may not see it on TV, but it doesn't mean it's not happening. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. It could just be a lot of reasons why a lot of females want to go harder in the paint, and do better. But I don't know those reasons. But I'm just saying they could be things in their life. You know what I'm saying? So.
What about you, Rayshawn? What you think?
I would say, like, all right, I know a couple boys. I know, like, we in school, girls doing their work, boys on their phones. Oh yeah, look, I just bought, man, because they trying to swipe and stuff. They ain't trying to work for nothing. You see girls doing their work, all that. So you working towards something. We just want to be cool and stuff. Too. Oh yeah, what I got? Oh yeah, look at her. You feel me? I'm about to get this belt real. Like, how much? I got a lot of bands, a lot of numbers. Like that's all he talk about.
Flashy.
Right. It is. Like it's like the dudes, they trying to impress the girls. Girls chasing the books, But at the same time, they can do both. They can balance both. They can do that, and it's when a dude can just focus all on a girl, can't do both. It's either girl or the books. That's what it is.
I was hoping that they was gonna say that because I was gonna say I was gonna say, you know what? But you know what? I'm gonna tell you, women always been like that, and I can be honest about this.
To be able to balance both.
Women are 10 times better in multitasking than men. All right, they are. I always say like the dollar theory. You gotta keep it as like your dollar. You got men think like a solid dollar. Okay, and what I mean by that is that we focus on one thing at a time. Well, women, they are like change.
Listen,
25, 25, 25, 25. And they
how can I break this?
And it's awesome. I've seen it. They do it all the time. But you know what? Because throughout history, that's what they've been doing. They've had to balance family. They had to balance the husband. They had to balance the home. They had to balance all these things. Where the man, the central man focus, got to make sure they're taken care of. Got to make sure they're taken care of. Got to make sure they're taken care of. So I think like what you just said like that, so many guys are so focused, their focus get on the wrong thing so easy. I think more guys now have become so easily distracted and quickly. And if it's too hard, they check out.
Yeah.
Like, I'm checked out. Well, women, now because men have dropped the ball so much, some men, not all at all, I would never put everybody in the same group. But they've dropped the ball so much and they see the unreliability of men. I gotta step up and do this because I can't depend on him to make sure things taken care of. I gotta make sure it's that I got mine. So you see more of them come into play. Now you brought up a good point too when you said they fighting to show that they belong, and I do believe that because even now within society, especially, I know y'all heard about like Monique, that theory, even though I got a whole different theory on that. But Monique, you're like, oh, well, hold on, they said 500,000, what's 500,000? 500,000 Netflix offered her, but then they offered other people stuff. I thought that was bad taste. You don't never talk. One thing I believe is never count another person's pockets.
Yeah.
But I do believe it is. I think it is.
Let's really think about where they put her and where they put compared to other people that fall in different categories. I think that she made a valid point. I just think that maybe the way she went about it.
Yeah, and that's why I'm saying that she. Well, I would have done. It'd have been like, let's say you was in that position, like I would have just left it as the amount they gave me. It just wasn't congruent to what I should have deserved.
I feel like it. Yeah.
And then I go back to what you said. I've had jobs, like I said. I walked away from GM. Period. I was like, y'all want to take me out of state? They're like, well, okay, we'll give you the 75. I'm like, no, I'm not going out of state because I felt like one, there were some things more important to me, like my family and my daughter. I said, I ain't dipping out of state because my daughter needs Randy more than she needs a check coming home. So, everybody's goal is different. Some people, they're going to be driven by money. And don't get me wrong, money, it answers some things, you know what I'm saying? It'll keep the gas on, keep the lights on, and everything else like that, you know what I mean? It'll keep you from living in a dumpster. But at the same thing is that I'm a firm believer that you got to love what you do. If you love what you do, even though you got to work, sometimes you'll be tired of it. It'll never feel like work to you. You get what I'm saying? You'll feel like your passion is there. You got to go where your heart is. So when I ended up leaving there, I was like, okay, fine. Then I'm just going to start doing, I'm going to just start doing my own nonprofit. And I did that. People don't even realize how long that I was doing that and making great money, making sure my family taken care of. And now I feel like God has put me so much in a position where I can pick and choose where I want to go. You know what I mean? Like, okay, y'all here, y'all paying the money, but it's because you got to pay your dues. And I think that's the one thing we was talking about with millennials that we said we don't share with millennials. Yeah. I believe that you got to pay your dues.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? There's some millennials come out, they get out of school, come off walking the stage. Hey, I deserve the biggest office on the biggest floor. Right now, give me the keys to the kingdom.
I need my own office.
Like, what? What are you talking about?
I need to be making $100,000 a year.
And
what you got for me?
Well, like, what? But yet they got another person, because one thing I realized coming into work, that experience will always trump degrees.
All day.
And you got somebody got 15 years experience.
Yeah.
They're like, you come over and we're going to do this. Yeah. And I think millennials thought that, I got a degree. I got this piece of cotton, right here. And it's got my name on it. And it says I did this many. It's like, who cares? You still got to sell yourself. You still got to put in your work.
What experience do you have? That's the first
thing. And they shut down. I noticed that every time it's a shutdown.
What experience do you have?
Like, I've been in the classroom for 4 years. Like, yeah, that's nice. This man has been in the field for 15. I
had an employer told my students, he came and visited and talked, and we have a trade that's electrical technician. And so he asked them, how much do you think you're going to make? And they're like, $25, $27, $30. And so, I'm trying to keep a straight face while I'm in there because I'm like, if they only knew. And so he says to them, so how many people in this classroom has experience other than just school? It was about 2 hands that went up. Now, it was about 35 students in this classroom. 35, okay? And he said, so you think that an employer is going to give you $25 an hour and you have no experience other than school? That's not going to happen.
But I go back and forth with that, with the experience part, because here's the contradiction.
That's Stephanie, everybody.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm producing today. My feel is employers they contradict what they want or what they say. They want you to have a degree, but then when you get a degree, nobody wants to take the chance to give you a job for you to gain experience, but they want you to have experience.
That's true.
Because I have a degree, and I've had so many people telling me, in the kind of degree you got, it's so broad, you can do just about anything. Literally every job I was filling out, experience. And it's like, well, how does anybody expect you to gain experience if you don't ever even take the chance? And something else, like for anyone who want to go to college, I know for specifically for Rick, like I know for sure you want to go to college. I'm not sure if Rayshawn do. You want to look for interns because interns is where you're gonna get your experience.
Absolutely.
And I knew that, but I thought like, oh, interns is something you might want to do. It's something I feel like anybody, if you go to school, you get a degree, because bachelor's degree is nowadays like a high school diploma. It doesn't really matter. If you go to school for it, look for interns or externs anytime you got summer break or anything. And I saw this on the show. This girl, she had an engineer degree, smart, and the lady who was trying to hire her was asking her like, what experience do you have? Like, did you do any interns? Did you do anything like that? And she was like, no. She's like, well, I spent my summers going on vacation, this, that. And the employer was just looking at her like, so you have no intern, you didn't try to go do this, you didn't try to do that for the summer. So, like they say, I do agree with the fact that you do need experience, but sometimes if you don't go for an internship or anything, you're not gonna gain experience because employers is not gonna offer you. That's the experience.
Little do a lot of students know that when you do internships or externships, that's the experience. You're utilizing the tools that you learn in school, and you're taking them and actually using them in the experience of an externship or internship. That's the experience that you're gaining.
Yeah.
Right. That's the experience that you're gaining.
And that's the big thing that, I always tell like a lot of the biggest things I noticed, and it's funny that because Darylisha asked y'all the same thing. First thing I asked a lot of, people our age, your age group is mainly what I deal with from 11 up. Because I believe that those are the most important years of your life. Those are the years of your life where you develop into the person that you want to be for the rest of your life. Or who you're going to be, whether you believe it or not, And I think it's important. I don't want you don't have to have all the answers, but you should at least be on that path, to where you want to seek those answers to. You get what I'm saying? So, like I said, it's different strokes for different folks. But I believe the only thing that stops you is you. It's going to be people out here that's smarter than you. There's going to be people smarter, sexier, richer, everything else in the world, even more skilled than you. But the one thing, and I tell this to my daughter all the time, and I tell it to you too, my younger cousins, is never let nobody outwork you. That's gonna be that's the one they kill. Because you have somebody that, even though they might not have the experience, and somebody tell them, no, you can't have the job. Because I came off those years when we first started experiencing our first little kind of depression in the country. So here I am sitting here with this degree, with 2 degrees. You know what I'm saying? And couldn't find anything technological, Because I thought after leaving, I'm like, I'm going to hop right back into something. I saw something, I'm like, okay, what's going on?
Hit a niche.
Nothing.
Where it went through, I would say, is another Great Depression.
Yes. And I was like, what's going on? I was like, where is it coming from? I remember going, I'm lying to you not. I remember I went on 20 interviews. And I'm thinking, here we go. I'm getting this because, I'm just good. Because I aced the interview because the interview process is just them liking you for the most part. That's what the first part is them liking you because that's your first impression. So when I saw that they got jumped down, I was about to get down. Like, I can't believe this. And I remember my father told me one more thing. Like, how many interviews you going on 20? He's like, put in 40 more applications. I was like, what you mean? He's like, because you got to continue to press. He's like, because you're going to have 2 people. One people that fold under the pressure and the people that grow under pressure. And when in life, especially now, I see so many with young people, they fold. They fold real tight. Every time opposition hit them, they fold up real quick. I'm like, and I ain't, like I said, ain't all of them, I see that or not, because it's easy out here in the society to get folded up. Because now, when you got everybody with degrees, just like, Steph said, everybody coming with a bachelor's. Like, dang, you got a bachelor's? Okay, yeah, you got a bachelor's, because they already got that. Like, you wouldn't even made it through the door if you didn't even get at least out of that. Like, okay, tell us about you.
So what makes you different from the next person? Because everybody that's here has a bachelor's. So what makes you different? What makes you different?
What makes you different? And like you said, what they're going to say is that you got to sell yourself to this person. Because guess what? It's 1,000 people interviewing for 4 jobs. Yeah. You know what I mean? So that's why I said that's one part of it. But let me tell you something. It's some great thing. I just saw my cousin got on here just now. I don't know if that is Cynthia Terrell. I don't know which one
it might be Tyrell. He was on it earlier.
He was on there. But I'm telling you, it's all about your hustle. Because I got people My brother John. John makes 6 figures. He ain't never been in school. Never been in school. John makes it. I saw him one day just by chance. I saw him hit the 6-figure mark. I was like, sweet Jesus. I've been in school and I ain't hit 6 figures. I ain't getting no close to it. We trucking. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, it's just different. Everybody's different. People out here got their own businesses, doing hair. I've seen it. I've seen them like, man, they got out of here. Got people, real estate. I'm like, they just doing it. They got 10 houses, making money. Yeah. They doing it. Click. So, but what separate them from most people, and anybody else, not saying that my hustle ain't, as strong as theirs, it's their work ethic. It's that they like, look, I ain't got no plan. You got to, honestly, you got to operate as if sometimes this is your only plan. And that's the only way I can, I'm saying, like, this is my plan. Ain't no plan B, C, D, E. This it. And I'm about to put it in there. I ain't saying literally put all your eggs in one basket, but your mindset need to be, this is where it's at. And you got to hit it hard. Most people, they get so, like, messed up, you know what I'm saying, when adversity hit them, they check out. That's it. They jump, man.
Or just where their priorities are. Yep. If you just think about what's important and what's not really important. Necessities over what you want. And sometimes I think people get things mixed up. My grandma used to say, if you mop the floor, you better be the best floor mopper you can ever be. Whatever job you take, you work hard. I swear to you, you work hard. And that's what I was instilled with. You work. You go out, you work, you do the best of your ability. And fruits of labor will come. Everybody is different. Like you say your brother makes 6 figures. You don't have to go to college to make that. You just have to know what avenue you're setting for yourself. Whether if you're going to go to a trade, whether if you're going to go in the military, whether you're going to go to a 4-year college, whatever you're going to do, you just have to set that tone for yourself. It doesn't mean that you have to go to a 4-year college. I got 2 degrees, okay? I got a master's. My boyfriend makes more than me, okay? And he didn't go to college, okay? But that's the avenue and the drive that he took. He worked his behind off. And now he's sitting back and getting that labor that he put in. He's seeking from that. He's getting that fruits of labor. He's getting that. And I'm like, go for what you know. If that's what you're doing and you getting it, get it all day long. But it's because of the type of worker he is. Not because he didn't go to school or he chose not to go to school or whatever he chose to do. It's just the work ethic that he has within himself. You know what I'm saying? I think about when I work, I've been at the job that I've been at, I switched to a different company and I've been there for about a year. And sometimes I laugh at some of the things that people are not capable of doing because they just don't want to work. They sit there and be lazy. I'm like, what? I sit back, half of the day go by and I'm done with my work. Because half of the people that work in my position drag it out all day long because they don't want to work. You know what I'm saying? And then I work and I just be like, okay, what do I do next? Let me figure out what's going on. Because I'm like, and I'm looking at them and I'm like, this is easy. How could you not work? Because they don't want to work. They feel entitled. Like, yep, I'm going to punch a clock. I'm going to get this work. Y'all going to pay me. And don't let them miss any hours. You skirt them on any amount of hours, they ready to like, oh my God, I work 80 hours. Why do I only have 70 hours on my check? And sometimes it's just not about that at the end of the day. But I know my work ethic. And whether you go to school, whether you choose to work for an establishment, whether you choose to do a company or whatever, just know your worth and know what you need to put in it. So you got to know the amount that you're going to put in. You can't say you're going to start a business and you're going to do half the work. Starting a business is harder than actually working for somebody.
Yep.
Yes, it is.
Starting a business is harder working than somebody. It's so many different components right now. And I'm writing a business plan right now for someone.
She just said it.
I'm writing a business plan right now. So I know that they came to me like, hey, can you write this business plan? Absolutely. So they can make sure that they're making the right decisions and know the weaknesses and the strengths of this business. What's the outcome of that business? And I sat back and I'm like, yeah, I can write this business plan. And I haven't wrote a business plan in like so long. So when I think about it, I'm sitting there and I'm researching and I'm like, dang, I really got to do like some real deep rooted research for them, so they can really understand, like, is this a business that they want to do? You know, running a business is harder than working for somebody. So you got to put in 10 times the work.
You understand that? That's
10 times the work.
Thing.
And 2, you still got to work while you starting your
business. While you starting your business.
But y'all know that because y'all seen me with this. Like, even with the dagger, I had to just take over my event. You know, I had to take an L over that. And it was just like, one thing that you always remember, because I know we had to talk about the whole business thing. The one thing you want to remember is your family or friends sometimes not going to support you. So you can't look at them as an avenue of like, oh, I know they're going to do this. And then the second thing you can't look at is you still going to have to work. It's okay to start your own business, but you have to work because the first 2 years going into your business, you're going to be broke. Because every money you bring in from that job, you putting it right back into there.
It's called being in the red.
Yeah.
You're going to be in the red.
You're going to be in the red. Any
but you can do it. It's gonna be.
That's not a distraction. That's not something to get you down. Because just like some people would have said that to somebody, they're like, "Well, I'm gonna find a whole new way."
No, it's gonna be a struggle.
It's gonna be a struggle.
You know what that is for? You know what I most love about struggle. Struggle is the ultimate. You know what I'm saying? It's the ultimate fact finder in people, because it's gonna determine if you want it or you was just playing. You know, separate the people that thought, you know, because you got people that's like, hey, that look nice. Some people want the title of manager and boss, but they don't want anything that go with it. They're like, man, I don't want to have to deal with that. I don't want to deal. I got to deal with employees. I got to pay the bills. Yeah, that's what the boss do if you on that level. Especially like if you own your own business. You the person, because you can't take the day off, because if you take the day off, you ain't eating. You missing something. Like, I'll take, you know what, today I'm the mom boss, I'm taking the day off. But it's just crazy, you know, like the mentality, you know, of most people. Do you think that's wrong for us okay, how to say it like that? You think it's wrong, because I ain't gonna lie, you know, like Darylisha said, I do have that problem with millennials. Because I gotta, you know, I deal with them, you know what I'm saying? Being the boss and they coming over there, you know, to me, saying like, I'm trying to make what you make. I'm like, you don't even put forth the effort to do it. That. You know, I gotta check. You doing a call in. You know what I'm saying? Like, first of all, it ain't anybody. Like, it's only a few people in this. You know, in our region, in the country, that can do what we do. So you take advantage of that, first of all, and then 2, you get out here, like, because we know we do a very dangerous job. You know, we up in the air. You know what I'm saying? 20 feet plus. To do stuff, mess around with electricity and everything else like that. I'm like, so y'all want, you know, you want to get paid, but you don't want to work. So my problem with millennials is that, I think that's my biggest issue with millennials, is that they don't want to work. I never understood that. I come from a father who bust his behind. My father did carpentry, had his own business, did carpentry, and I was always asking him, y'all know y'all pops do something, you don't do that. So I was working all the time. So when it came to working, my very first job was working with my dad. And it wasn't no taxes getting taken out. I was making $500 a week. All I had to do was go in there, mud, drywall, do everything else like that. So I had no problem doing that. When I first got my way to working, it came was when I got my very first job when they was taking taxes out, Hollywood Video. And after 2 weeks of work, I got like $123. I'm like, this gotta be a mistake. Y'all gotta be joking. So what? And then I know it's a lot of other distractions too that keep. I'm speaking from a man's standpoint. Yeah. When you see other guys out here making quick money, you know what I'm saying? That's a big one. I saw that was out there. You know, when I was out there. It is disheartening,
but you just gotta think about it from where they making it versus where you gonna be.
And that's the hardest part.
And I tell people all the time, you know, you stated swiping, okay? They can swipe all day long. But then at the end of the day, anything happen to them, when it's time to draw down Social Security, when they get sick, all of those things, when it's time, when they have to sit down, what can you draw from? Because you never worked a job. What can you draw from? Nothing. When you're too old to work, when you get hurt, and you have to sit down, you have nothing to draw from. It's so many different things. So it might seem like the grass is greener on the other side because they're doing something to make fast money. But in the long run, they're really setting themselves up for failure Because at the end of the day, they're not going to have all those fruits and labors that you work for. They're not going to be able to pull those things. You're going to be sitting by, and when they get sick or something happened to them and they have to sit down, if they're sick and they're in the hospital, how can they swipe? So then they're not making money. Just like a drug dealer. Let's think about it.
What is swiping? I don't know. So when y'all said
really?
swipe, I know.
Okay, so swiping is when they stealing people's information, their credit card information. So when
that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then
they do that.
Able to, yeah.
They do that in y'all school?
And they're able to get their information.
Oh, you mean period? Because no, because you had made a comment. You said in school they be busy swiping. So that's what I'm saying. Like, do you have friends that do it?
Yeah.
That's right. That's still your information.
Right.
And they stealing somebody else's fruits of labor.
Right.
Let's really think about it.
I mean, y'all can jump in. I don't want y'all sitting there. This not
school. I kind of just want to hear them talk. What do y'all feel? You know what? Forget all that. What we were just saying, because we took a lot in and we could talk all day. But real talk, I want to know just from y'all as black young men in this country, with everything that y'all see. There's a couple of things I want y'all to give me y'all comment about. Let's start with justice. Let's start with rights. Do y'all feel that y'all feel safe or secure with y'all rights right now in this country?
No.
Why?
There's plenty of examples every day why you can go on the internet like Instagram or whatever. You can just see black guys, especially that get arrested for. I mean, I won't say most of the time, but some of the time, just for no reason at all.
Profile.
Yeah, just for no reason at all. So it's like, when you look on TV and people have conversations about black and white people, and like people say things like all lives matter, and they say things like a white person would get arrested just like a black person to get arrested, or they'll say things like if like this one white kid that just shot up that school, like if a black guy did that, they would have killed him on sight. It wouldn't have been no, are we about to arrest you? They would have killed him, bro. But this guy, he got locked up or whatever, and he's currently still living, and I don't even think he's getting a death sentence or whatever.
And the first thing they want to say is he has a mental issue.
Yeah, that's
the first thing that they say. He has a mental issue.
Yeah.
He didn't know what he was doing.
They try to make up all these excuses, but then it's like no justice is even being served to the parents that just lost their kids. Yeah. Because they throwing out excuses like that. So yeah, you have things like that. And then another thing is a lot of people getting frustrated or mad. People outside of black people that get frustrated and mad when black people complain about their lives in this society because of their skin. It's like people don't really know what it's like until you go through it. A lot of reason of why black people are the way they are now is because of generations of being mistreated. Those type of things, you get mistreated for about 400 years, you're in slavery or whatever. Then after that, you become ignorant, like incredibly ignorant. And then the ignorance of those people, they have kids and then they get implemented into the next generation, which brings us to now with the guys, people that go to my school, what I'm saying? Like, I'm not saying I'm the best person at school. I know what I'm doing, but then you have people they're just born into that type of mentality. So it's like no one really understands because it's just brutally tortured for years. And it could continue to happen unless it brings forth a change. And then another thing is, how there's kids right now marching, for the kids that, they lost their friends at school or whatever, right? These people are all over the news all the time. I get on Snapchat, I see these people all the time, consistently. So you can obviously see they're actually putting forth the effort to push for change to, with these gun rights and, safety at schools or whatever. But what do black people do for real, though? Like, come on. I mean, we got the Black Lives Matter thing, but it's like y'all just going around putting up signs or whatever, but y'all not actually going out here talking to government officials or the mayor or the president. These kids are actually going out talking to government officials, everything, on TV, everything. Black people don't do that. We just go outside, put up the sign, and it's the same thing we do over and over. There's not a real leader for real. And then you have people who, they become rich and they look out for their people. That's what white people do all the time. They get rich or whatever. They mainly will look out for their own before they look out for anyone else. Black people go out there, they get rich or whatever. They don't look out for for real, nobody except for their family. And a lot of times, some of them are so selfish enough they don't even look out for their own family. So it's a lot of things wrong with the system that's going on right now. So that's really all I had to say about that. So
what Taariq was speaking on, how the teenagers, how the kids got shut up. The teenagers are like, they're in Washington, D.C., they're all over the news, all over social media. Where was, and like they want gun control. Where was all this at when that white teenager shot up that church full of black people? Nobody was here screaming gun control. Nobody was trying to get gun control. The dude, they just didn't say nothing even about the guns. They wasn't even trying to get guns. The gun wasn't even a problem. Like, they just didn't say nothing about the guns. They wasn't trying to get gun control at all. But it took some white kids getting killed for them to try to take guns away so heavy, you know? Or like when all the black people was getting gunned down by policemen. They still wasn't talking about gun control from the police. They still wasn't talking about gun control. But when white kids get shot, they want to talk about some gun control. That's why it just makes sense to me.
yeah. And then another thing that kind of makes me mad is when some people say things like, have y'all ever met anyone that has said something like racism doesn't really exist anymore?
I talk to them all the time.
Absolutely.
Dude, it's like, I can't even comprehend, like, why would anyone would even think something like that when it's so alive today. Dude, it's on TV all the time. And you look on TV, it's never nothing positive anyway. It's always something negative. It's always something about someone getting shot, someone getting robbed. Maybe somebody, business just went down. It's just never anything positive whatsoever on the news, and that's actually where they get their money from. I think they get views off of things that I think a lot of people, I wouldn't say want to see. I don't know how to birth the words that I'm trying to put out, but all in all, it's just the whole world just revolves around negativity. The whole world thrives and ascends with negativity. So I don't know. It just takes somebody, but it takes more than one person anyway to get the job done. This type of world anyway. Actually, not even just America. You have other places in like England or whatever, terrorist attacks and all that. I'm not gonna get into that other stuff, but it kind of makes sense.
I know. I'm all in. Like, speak.
And like, also like, you got black people against black people. Like,
that is.
Like at my school, let's say it's this boy in my class, right? He talking about something. Why you don't cut your hair? I'm like, what you mean why I don't cut my hair? He talking about, bro, you should wear it short, bro. Wear it short. I'm like, why? He talking about, cause bro, that's how it's supposed to be. What you mean? The white boy can wear his hair long. Why I can't wear my hair long? Cause my hair black. Like come on, like what's the difference? He's like, never mind, bro, never mind. Bro,
like who told you that you
who told you that you can't?
Where's the guidelines of where I should wear my hair or how I should express myself?
Rayshawn, you over there? You got like I see you thinking. So what's going on in your head? 'Cause I see him thinking because he looked up, you looked down. Like,
oh, and another example. That's what happened to Rayshawn. So me and Rayshawn staying at school. My man, we and Rayshawn staying at school, right? So we see a table full of girls. So I was like, all right, we finna go over there, talk. We finna go talk to them. Just being nice. We're not even interested. We just all right to be friends. Go mess with them. So we get over there. Girls just being rude, nasty. They are all of them black except one. And this one girl told Rayshawn, was like, you should cut your hair off. So I'm like, what? Then she was like, you ain't got no type of curl pattern. What?
Who told you there had to be a curl pattern?
Man, what? And this girl, oh my gosh. This girl.
And she was African American?
She was black. But her family rich.
Okay.
They live in Grosse Pointe. But still,
so she relates to if you have long hair, it should be curly.
Right. She black people against black people. Like, what is you doing?
Yeah, that type of thing actually is a problem because you have Black people who, you know, you see things like people would tell you like, if it's not like this, then that's not good. Or you say people like, if you dress like that, like you'll never, you know, make it or something. I don't know, just something just really stupid. You know what I'm saying? And then like that's one thing. That's probably one of the main reasons of why a lot of Black people will go to the doctor and lighten up their skin, because it's like this. In order to get farther in this world, it's like you always have to make a tremendous sacrifice, because it's like, if I don't do this, then how am I ever going to reach the top? It's the same thing with the music industry. You know how they say things like, oh, you got to sell your soul to get to the top? That's kind of how that is. It's like, if you don't have this, then you won't get what you want. And
that's unfortunate. That's unfortunate if they think that the lighter you are, the longer your hair, all of these things. When you really think about society, if you think about, look where everybody is, what are we trying to portray when we're doing lip injections? That society is really trying to be. But we still are stuck on, no, we need to be lighter. No, we should be slimmer. No, we shouldn't have hips. No, we shouldn't have all these things.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. It's like they try to turn the tables, because really, even though we've already had all of these things, the things we have now are becoming trends for white people. You have people like Kylie Jenner, bro. That's a good example right there. I mean, I'm not trying to say she's trying to be Black or anything, but I'm just saying like the whole Kardashian.
Okay, so what are you trying to portray when you enhance your lips? As our culture, we have more fuller lips, right?
Yeah.
We're more hippier.
Yeah.
Okay, we're more voluptuous, I guess they would say.
Right.
Okay, and you think about that.
You'll get made fun of for it. Yeah. But then if it's like, if this white person does it, that's what the white person does it, it's like,
what are they doing lip injections for?
Right.
To enhance their lips.
Right. So it's like
why they get tans? Why they get tans?
Yeah.
Darker.
Yeah, it's like, since we have
tans. Don't even let me get on tans, okay?
Yes. And dark skin people.
I mean, like, what are you trying to portray in the same notion? And I think that I've been in an environment where I have my African Americans, and we're out and we're in areas where it's tanning. I like to tan. Yeah, I'm Black, but I like to get a little tan on, you know? And so I've actually heard people like, no, I'm like, you know, I'm already dark skinned. I don't need to be out in this. Why? Why don't you need to be out in the sun even more? Because at the end of the day, 90% of the people that's out here is trying to tan to get the color that you got, that you're rocking right now. Let's be real. Let's be real.
A lot of the time they'll put you down because it's something that they want. They'll do it. It's like when another person do it, it's like, you know, they praise them, but if you're born like that, you'll never be praised.
It's unfortunate.
And that's what I was going to go into that, you know, when y'all was talking about how y'all feel about how y'all fit into this world. But I just wanted to kind of touch on that justice thing right quick before we get into that, is that it's been, you know, I believe that racism, you know, when you said people, you know, was saying that some people say racism, you know, I don't understand, it don't exist. I think the biggest issue with a lot of people, because, you know, I want to get a couple things straight. I know whites who fight just as hard as for my rights and believe in equal rights just as much as I do. And I know I've been with them. I got some of the, you know, real friends. So I know they believe in that. But as a majority, what I've really realized is that most individuals have never experienced the racism that Blacks have ever experienced. So, and it's two sides of it. Like during the time frames like 9/11, you know, Middle Easterners for the first time got to experience what is called the profile, something we've been experiencing our whole entire lives, being profiled, driving in cars, seeing that this happened. Now, what happened is that there were airports getting profiled and they were complaining. And, you know, and I sat back and, you know, thinking myself like, welcome to the club. I get profiled every day of my life. And, you know, my people ain't known for blowing up things, you know. But when you see when people have to experience something, you know, for the first time, it's almost like that's the only way some people can taste it. It's just like if I'll put it like this: if someone close to me, like let's say a friend of mine, somebody in their family passed away. Sometimes the effect of their family member passing away won't be the same effect. The same emotion I would have than they would have. But you never know it till it happens to you. Like someone else's father may pass away, but it ain't gonna never touch you as hard as it's gonna be your father, or your mother, your sister, your brother passing away. So unfortunately, I think like in society, it's a you better experience it type thing for them to be like, oh my goodness, this is what you had to go through and things of that nature. Because I do believe, I think it's the same thing. We just had the black guy just get killed in Sacramento in his own backyard.
Yeah.
I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, I think he got shot over like 8 times in his own backyard with no gun on him. But he had a cell phone. You know? And again, they did exactly what y'all said. It's the protest. And to be honest, I'm kind of past the protest because it's always this thing of we're going to get up and say that we upset about it. But now y'all got to have something after. And I think that's what's lost in a lot of with Black America. I think that's one of our biggest problems is that we do a lot of protesting, but there's nothing behind the protest. It's like it's good to go out there and march and hold up the sign, but then you can't throw it down and then say, all right, well, let's go back to, usual, VH1. Let me go do what we do. But no, it shouldn't be that way. Even with, it's a process. Even with the boycotts in my government. In Alabama, with Martin Luther King and with Rosa Parks. It was a process. There's like, you know what we're going to do? Now we're going to protest. We ain't going to give away none of our money. See, that's the ultimate way to hurt anybody. It's not to, hit them up financially. So what they did, they said, we're going to walk. And the bus, they did it for a year. Until that bus company almost went into debt. They're like, you know what? Let them sit anywhere they want to. It don't even matter, man. We losing the money.
The value of a power of what we can have.
The black dollar is mighty powerful.
What we can have as a race. We don't. We're so stuck on like looking at each other and being against each other and judging each other and things like that. We're like one of the only cultures that fight against each other.
I think
let's think about that.
You know
what I'm saying? And you see the other cultures when they work. I think like I work in an environment where it's predominantly Arabic, okay? And what they do, they come over. They first person come over, they get 7 years free of tax-free money, okay? They're not taxed on anything. They come over, they get a big house. Everybody goes in the house. They bring their whole family over, and everybody live together. And they bring the next person, and then once that 7 years is up, they transfer everything over to the next person, and they get another 7 years free, okay? They come over, they get all of any health care, okay, bridge cards, all of the things. And what do we see? What do they own? Liquor stores, dollar stores. Think about it. They're owning stuff because they work together. And then they'll have a house and there'll be 20 people in the house. 20 people. We can't work together as a society. As a culture, we don't. We're so like, what she got, what he got. I don't want to know. I'm be over here struggling by myself instead of working together. And we work together as a community, as a unit, as a race. If we work together more, we will be further than where we are. And that's why sometimes we do fall behind. And then we feel entitled like, oh, you need to give me a handout because we've been in racism and we've been in slavery and all of these different things. That's not what they're looking for. Every other culture and other race work together and they get ahead. We can't work together. We so hard up on what the next person is doing or how we can outsmart the next person and work not together. Yeah. And if you really think about it, African, I swear to God, our culture is so bright. We have so many different talents, but we don't utilize it. We hinder ourselves because we're so against working together. We want to work over here on the side. I'm gonna do this on the side.
I think
I'm not gonna drop that knowledge. I'm not gonna drop that knowledge. Because you're going to be better than me.
It's funny because our culture wasn't even built like that. We didn't start off like that. We were like,
totally opposite.
Like,
we had to be together.
Crazy. Like, before, like, 1960s, which I tell anybody through history, that's the time frame we had the biggest change throughout, period. It's the 1960s. We had black businesses because they didn't want to let us sit at the counter. They didn't want us to utilize it. So we said, you know what we're going to do?
We're going to build our own.
And then they found out slowly through the economy, which they found it out now, you know, real quick. Black spending is over $5 trillion.
Listen, y'all spending all your money to people who don't support your race. Yeah. You spend all your money, and we all do it. We're all victims of it. We spend our money towards things that don't apply to us. Really, honestly. I done seen a person that, and I stopped wearing Tommy Hilfiger. When I was growing up, I used to wear Tommy Hilfiger. And you know he said at Oprah? And he sat there and he said, I didn't make my clothing for the African American race. He actually said that. He said he made it for voters with money.
It's crazy.
That's exactly what he said.
It's crazy.
And we're same people that's buying and supporting these people who don't even support us.
On a constant basis, this is what we do. If we, just let you know how much $5 trillion is. If blacks, that's spending, we just had our own country, we'd be the 9th richest country in the world.
We spend it, but our lights getting cut off.
The 9th richest
we
country
spend it, but we
in
getting
the world.
Because you spend on the wrong
We spend it, but we getting evicted.
All the time.
But we dress them head to toe, though.
Because we don't have that going into what y'all was talking about the money. We ain't got an aspect of generational wealth. We don't have it. Because you know why? First of all, most poor people don't even got the means to do it first, because their mentality is to automatically, it's almost like they're playing catch up all the time anyway from when they started off. So when they start that way, now, like you said, it started going into generational. So it was taught to, oh man, you go check by check, you know, live check by check. And then what's the next thing? Most people don't do the biggest thing, and this is no disrespect to nobody out there. Don't take it like that. It's the wrong joke. But GoFundMe, I believe, is one of the worst things that could have happened to our community. And let me understand it. GoFundMe, it's not life insurance. GoFundMe is not life insurance. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Let's think about it, Randy. We don't set up for that.
It's like,
we plan for everything else. We plan for weddings. We plan for birthdays.
To me, it's crazy. I don't
we don't plan for it when we leave this earth.
It's like my first thing that I ever got, and that was because I was happy to work. My mother and father, you know, they was, no, you better get some life insurance. That's the first thing I got. I'm like, because I want to make sure that mine's going to be taken care of if something happened to me. What most of us do is that we have the mentality, our culture has a mentality of, I'm going to get mine. Find some way to get yours. But that's how most generational wealth has been built up. It's through that. It's through it. Like, look, we're going to make sure that you're taken care of. Make sure you got the means to know how to use it. And make sure that you can continue to expand it. What happens is that we get these, and I know people gonna be pissed. But what happens is that what happens is that I've seen this. I've had friends and people that I've spoken to funerals, and they're like, "Well, we need to GoFundMe," and they got to GoFundMe, and they got like 40,000. And you know what they did with that 40,000? Me, what I would have did is totally different, and I know some other people did. What they do? They put them in a $10,000 to $15,000 casket that nobody's going to see when it's in the ground. It's one time. Everybody going to get to see it. They have them going off buggy. You know, we're going to put you in the best lavish stuff. I'm like,
to put you in the ground.
First of all, throw them in the furnace. Be done with it. Have a memorial. It's over. They ran their race. That money needs to go to the children. That's what it's supposed to be for. So that way they can have a better future. That's my thing. Now, a lot of people out there going to think I'm cruel. I'm going to put them, I hate when somebody says this, I'm going to take them, let them go out in style. They don't style, they did. They did.
I kind of agree. I have 3, and listen, we don't plan for this. I mean, the first instinct is to go to a GoFundMe account is because we didn't prepare. We didn't prepare in life. Let's think about that.
Do this.
I'm telling you, we prepare for everything that we want to prepare for. Oh, I'm planning this birthday. Oh, I'm planning this wedding. Oh, I'm planning this vacation. But when you ask a person and you say, have you prepared for the afterlife? And they look at you like crazy. So that means that your family should never feel the burden of putting you in the ground.
It shouldn't ever be that way.
It should never be that way where they got to do a GoFundMe account and they're like, oh my God, we got to come up with 5,000. We got to come up with this. Listen, I have 3 policies. 3 policies, okay? And I tell my family all the time, you better not spend over $5,000 to put me in the ground. I'm telling you, because that's about the average. That's like a real cheap funeral. I'm going in the ground. I'm no longer here. You better not spend all this money. This money is for y'all. This money is for y'all to flourish, to set the tone, to set whatever you need to do, to make sure that people go, to give them a better life.
It's supposed to be all
so they don't
time.
have to worry about things. I have 3 policies. Anything happening tomorrow, I walk out and I'm not here no more. It's 3 policies that my family can pull down.
Yep, you got to. I got one. I got one strictly for burial, which I'm like, don't even do burial. Burn me. I'm good. Right. I ain't gonna feel it. If I am, then I ain't dead.
Right.
But the other part is that I want my daughter to be able to have something. I'm like, look, this is your start to wealth. Now, the other part of it, of course, now you got to be educated in regards to using, because you can give a fool $1 million and all they do is cause them more harm. Yeah. But it's just like those one of the.
You just hope that they, when you leave it, that they do something inspired by that money to flourish. That's the whole point. When you leave policies behind like that, it's for your family to flourish. So they don't have to worry about certain things. They should never worry about putting you in the ground.
Yeah, and I see this. I do see that comment. Because it is a burden, period.
That's what I was going to ask about.
It is a burden. It's an emotion. It should be emotional.
That's what I was asking.
If it's financial, there's something a little bit wrong with that. And the reason why I say that is because if you have come through your entire life, and this ain't everybody. I understand that. I'm talking about people that can but don't. If you have a cable bill, you're paying over $100 some odd a month. And life insurance to take precedent over the cable bill. I'm sorry. You can do all other things outside of the cable bill. This is my thing. I just think that our money has been put in the wrong places and we're expecting it to work. You can't put your money, like, let me tell you something. You were somebody like with Jordans, and guess what? I got a pair on my feet and got a ton of them. But what I'm trying to say about that is that how much more beneficial would it be for someone to have stock in Nike? Because Michael Jordan doesn't own Jordan. Michael Jordan gets cut a check from Nike to use his likeness.
Say it.
Period. Michael Jordan had nothing to do with it. So when somebody say, I'm helping Michael Jordan make money, he help nobody make money. Nike make money.
He got a cut. Okay. He get a check just like the next person.
Mr. Knight, the CEO, is the one who makes the money over there. So what we're trying to say is that I'm not saying that you can't enjoy your money. If you work, yes, absolutely enjoy it. But I've been taught through my mentors and everyone else is to, when it comes to life, is to live it and plan for it like you're going to be old. Right. Period. I'm never planning to say, I'm going to plan to spend this life like I'm 30. Up till I'm 30 years old. I want to plan to spend my life as if I'm going to live to like 90 or 80 something years old. That way my daughter and anybody else, if I have grandchildren, anything else like that, will, ideally be able to start generational wealth and it just continue to pass up. I mean, continue to keep going and keep going and keep going. That's what I'm saying.
You can pay a policy where you pay $15
a month. That's what I'm saying.
$15 a month.
If you say the policy is too much,
I think
$15 and I don't even know where I put it.
I think you cleared it up for, because that's what she was talking about. Because she buried her son, so she was getting clarity. So you cleared it up for her. She was like, not financially, but mostly emotionally.
It's an emotional burden. But what you don't want your family to go through is the finance burden of putting you in the ground. Nobody wants to go through.
No one should have to take out a loan.
Because you already stressed because you lost your loved one.
Okay, so we got a question for you guys, and then what we don't finish, we're going to do a part 2 of, because we didn't even get into like the relationships, dating, trending, clothes. But Tom had a question. He said, when it comes to your pants hanging off, like, do you know who started it?
Thank you,
and
Tom.
like, do you know, like, what's your thoughts behind it? Because
I'm going to tell y'all where it started.
Yeah. So do y'all know like where it started? Like, what's your thoughts behind, like, how is that? What was his exact question? He said, do you understand the meaning of having your pants hanging off your butt?
Black men getting raped.
What's that say?
Do you know where?
Jail. Slavery. Okay. And then it became a trendy thing amongst celebrities.
They can't see you, Taariq.
Oh, they can't. Oh, let me get up. Slavery. Black men getting raped, and then it, became a trendy thing among celebrities. And, of course, if a celebrity does it, everyone thinks it's cool, whether it's clothes or slang. So yeah, it just became a popular thing like that. So now everyone sags.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. I'll see a lot of, a lot of young men sagging now, but I see enough, but I see them wearing belts and still sag. I'm like, what's the purpose?
Like,
the pants are tight. You have a belt, and it's like you still.
How does that happen? Yeah. How does that happen? Pull your pants up. I don't want to see your behind. That's just me.
What's the purpose of the belt? Let's make sure he stay right underneath the cheeks.
Yeah.
There we go, right underneath the cheeks.
But I'm gonna still put a belt on. But I'm still have it hanging.
They do it with skinny jeans too.
That's what you got. I'm like, you got on skinny jeans, man. Why you got that belt on? Walk by the like, bro, I see your huggies.
I want to see that.
So I don't understand. I think it's just a fashion sense for some people. So I think it's just like a clear. One thing I can't say about the generation, don't get me wrong, for most of them, not a lot of them. I think it's a high 80% follow mentality.
Oh.
It is.
There's a high 80% follow mentality.
Somebody set a trend.
Somebody
come out with something, and that's it,
like 90, 95.
Everybody got it going on.
Then you got the 5% that are like, no, I ain't doing. I don't care who else doing it.
I'll tell you one thing that I did not do. Well, just kind of dry, and I don't know why. I just thought wallabies. I don't know who created wallabies, and y'all know what wallabies are.
I don't.
You don't know what wallabies are?
I don't.
You know what wallabies?
Yeah.
Stephanie, where you been at? Wallabies. It's like a I don't know, like a
it's like a kind of a little bit like a hush puppy. It's like a bigger version of a
and then it got like this little thick sole.
Yeah.
And it used to just drive me crazy. And like everybody got into the wallabies, right? And they like, you gonna get you some, and don't get me wrong, I used to get into certain trends, but it was just certain things that I was like, no, I'm gonna just fall back with that. Like I'm just not. And wallabies.
Yeah, that is shoe moccasin. Thank you.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
Yeah,
like moccasin.
And it used to drive me crazy. Like, who started wearing wallabies? Who was it? It was like a rapper or something that started wearing wallabies, and I'm like, oh my god.
The dumbest part about that is, I think everyone knows, but like, feelers on, right?
Yeah.
You know, feelers, man. Back then, if you came to school with some feelers on, I ain't even gonna hold you up, or you get flying. You would get cooked.
And back in the days,
and then
rock me a feeling.
You know what's so crazy is with black people, it's like things that's still expensive when it's out of style.
Yeah.
Do you know still wearing Guess? And then they put our race in the mind of, oh no, because we don't nobody wear Guess no more. Like, why not? When they still make their money, they still got cute stuff.
African Americans started wearing Guess. My mom purchased me. I can tell you like this was yesterday. I was about 10 years old, about to turn 11, 6th grade. And my mom for Christmas bought me Guess stuff. And I was like, what is this? You know, like, we wear used. What is this? And she's like, I heard this is like the new thing that's going on. Guess. And in a different culture, it was popping. Like, everybody was wearing Guess. And I'm like, no, I'm not wearing this. And then I fall right into it. Like, everybody wearing Guess. In high school, I got Guess on. That's the thing. But when she first introduced it to me, I'm like, I'm not wearing that.
It's so sad because it'd be like, black people limit what they can wear, what they can buy. Because, oh, you can't wear this no more. Oh, no, don't nobody wear K-Swiss no more. Oh, don't nobody wear this no more. Like, who says when something's on? Okay, the date stop here. We moving on. I'm like, but do y'all know these rich people? They wearing Guess. They wearing, and half the stuff ain't even flash.
Champions. You can get you a whole little jogging suit. I'm telling you, for like $10. Not everybody wearing Champions now. Now you go get your jogging suit. You got to pay $100, $200 for a jogging suit you was paying maybe like $15 for.
Jingle Boo.
A year ago.
I ain't never heard of Jingle. What is Jingle Boo? He says before y'all time.
Because the biggest thing is that I noticed, and I know we limited on time. The biggest thing I do notice, and in all honesty, is that if it is selling in black culture, it's gonna sell in any culture.
Yeah.
So that's the biggest. That's the biggest thing. So they know the biggest thing, like how me, like I got this swoosh right here. You got that Jordan right there. You got that swoosh right there. You got that swoosh right there. We're walking billboards.
Yeah.
You know, so when we can do that, everybody else see it. It's like almost like that thing that everybody want. You know, like, I want that and things of that nature.
That is one thing, because I know it's pretty dumb that black kids or whatever, follow behind, but whenever we follow behind and do that, it's like other kids at school they want it's like, especially white kids, bro. Especially when it's white kids that really want to like hang out with, with the black kids or whatever. They go out, they cop them some Jordans, some retros, they get some Gucci belts or whatever, just to fit in though with the black kids. So it's like, I mean, yeah, sure we do that, but at the same time, it's like we even have the power to even start a trend. You know what I'm saying? Because all these other
But that's
kids,
what it is, because that's what they look at. They're like, let's see if this gonna pop. Let's see how we gonna get this. Let's see if it's gonna pop. Because this how things happen. First of all, it's because the more you see something, the more you get used to it, the more you like it's gonna replicate itself. Like, okay, I see that. There we go. We're gonna keep seeing the things of that nature. But I just think that I don't think that a lot of, especially the young black kids now, I don't think they really realize how powerful they are in regards to what they can do to change their effect. Like you just said, when we was talking about the community, and I know you said we almost done, when they said, when they start marching for gun control. Yeah. You know what happened with that? It ain't because they white, it's because of the amount of support they got.
Yeah,
the support now is huge. Like, okay, there we go. It hit this mark. Keep in mind, blacks been experiencing that Great Depression they was talking about that hit us like in the 2000s. We've been had it. It's been hit our communities. You can see the houses that was down. It wasn't depression until it hits those communities.
And it affects other cultures.
So that's the only thing with that. So like even now, we can shut it down, but the one way that we can shut it down that absolutely works every time, we have no interest in, because that means we think it's going to lose a part of our identity, and that's financial. It's always going to be the key sin for this United States government is money. Yeah. And the moment that's why they say, oh, let them protest. That ain't costing us no money. All they're going to do is go out and buy something to eat. Yeah. After they get done protesting, I'm tired. Let me go get a burger. Let's go right back into the economy.
It ain't stopping the show with anything. Yeah. So
I kind of look good marching around. Let me get these Jordans and this nice outfit. Yeah. They don't care about that. When you start saying, I'm not paying for that no more, you can shut it down. Believe me or not, you can shut down every mall in this state with the black dollar if you didn't go to it. Give it a month. Give it a month. Listen, boycott. You
all them same people that's in line to buy them Jordans that be lined up.
It'd be a wrap.
When they drop, it'll be a wrap.
It'd be a wrap. They wouldn't want to do it because you would cut down the economy. We keep the economy rolling.
$200 for no shoe.
Yep. We keep the economy rolling. Those stimulus checks that came out along, I know that's a little bit before y'all hear do that, but they brought a stimulus when Bush was in office. He's like, okay, we got to keep it pushing. Yeah. And they got checks. He was like, the sole purpose of it was to save it, which ideally what most of us want to do, but it's to spend it. Like, I'm spending it right back. We need to do something. Yep. So I'm just letting you know.
You stimulus check, so you can spend it and give it right back to me.
Yep.
Exactly.
Even with the taxes you get back, you're like, I don't care, give them the tax. It's coming right back to us.
That's real crazy because people go out and do that. They love to spend their money on anything name brand, but the things that really matter, they would never spend money on. You could go look inside. A lot of people's houses, bro, in their home inside. Matter of fact, the insides would be looking like, bro, what is going on? But their clothes would be looking magnificent.
You're not worried about that this way.
Just like
I'm telling you right now.
Just like what you said. It's
people laugh at me sometimes about being a fuel girl, but at the end of the day, my bills be paid. Yeah. I ain't asking nobody for nothing. Ain't nobody bridging no money to me to tell me that I need to pay this, my bill, this cut off, this is that. Bills paid every month.
People the sacrifice. That's what people want. People want the look without the sacrifice. Yeah. Because if you think about this, let's say we just stop spending money on a lot of stuff we want to. Let's say cable. But you really don't need cable to live. It ain't necessity. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people say that. You know what I'm saying? Internet.
More than the cable.
I tell people, internet is the future. Because you don't need it. Okay. We'll do that. Okay, there we go.
I'll take that.
Internet is the future. You need internet. Internet is the new utility. Yeah. But outside of that, if you just focused on, like, let me just put this money away, you realize some of the frivolous spending that you do sometimes. Like, man, I can't believe I did that. And then you start doing it. You start seeing the money stack up. And so you start seeing how you can put your money to start working for you a little bit more. But guess what? People been doing this. You know what I'm saying? Jewish community, Asian community. They always have their money rotating within themselves. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it ain't no different. I'm just going, and I'll leave like this, and I'm done. After this. All I'm going to say is this. It's no place in the world. Y'all just think about this. Because I know we said we having a part 2.
Yeah.
Thank goodness. But I just want y'all to think about this. Because y'all had really, I'm my little cousin, I love y'all. But think about this. There's no place in the world, period. Name one place in the world where you see that the people that live in the community is majority one race, yet they own none of the businesses within that community. You won't find it nowhere else but here. You'll find it. You find it on black communities. You get what I'm saying? What do you do when you go to liquor stores? You won't find, if you go to Grosse Pointe, you won't find where the majority of businesses is black owned. It wouldn't happen. They wouldn't allow it. You ain't gonna go nowhere else, not just in this country, nowhere else in the world, where the majority stakeholders in the community is not the people that stay there. We are the only people that happens to in our communities. I don't care where you at. I don't care if you're in Compton, Detroit, New York, where you at. Look at it. All we gotta do is take a look at it. Arabic. Oh, he owned, what's the name? I just went into a beauty supply store that's built for blacks and it's owned by an Arab. I'm like, what the?
Yeah. Or Asian.
Like,
you got your Asians that's bring all the beauty supply stores.
They're gonna spend money.
Because they know that the black people gonna come in there and get what they need.
But you know what too? Even when some black companies to get the blessing of having their own business in the community, they don't know how to have customer service.
Listen.
And when you go to these stores and you try to support, because everybody say black people don't support black people, which a lot of it is true. But when you go to these black places,
they don't want to give you the service that you need. And that's why we shop outside of our race.
Yep. That's true. And I went to something so small as a sandwich place to get a sandwich. One of my favorite places. I go in there, the girl, she on the phone. Never got the phone and say, oh, hold on, I gotta call you back. She got on the phone, she's still on the phone. What you want? Oh, what you, yeah, okay. The way she took my order, it was just like, you in the front of the business, you're supposed to do
that. That's the part about that too.
Yeah.
It's crazy is that the good black businesses, the good ones, shout out, they don't get the business they deserve because the people want to pull that maneuver. Hey man, I can't get the hook up.
Yes.
I can't, you can't,
Yes.
No, you can't get the hookup. Are you asking the other race?
Please don't come to me for the hookup. Let me want to bless you with the hookup.
Thank you. My thing is that
I
remember doing work in people's house, going over there. They see me, they're like, oh, hey man, I got your number from you, man. Can you run these these quick, lines in my house? How much would it cost me? I'm like, okay, how much did they charge you? All right, like I ain't gonna kill myself and break it off for the labor. I'm like, he said 1,000. I'll do it for $850. You can't cut a little bit more than that. First thing I say is that you ask him because he just asked you to put 50% down. I'm just telling you to do it. And you know my work good because guess what you got? I got recommended. I ain't in the book. Someone said, this guy does good work. There you go. And the first thing you say is $850. And like you said, I got so upset with that because I'm like, bro, oh, so you gonna act like that? Because all the rest of the work I did, Chaldean, white, Jewish, all of them, I got my money before the job is done because they know how good of the work I do.
Right.
Like, hey, Randy, here's the check on the table. Randy, there's the money. We already know you're going to do it. That reputation, but you can't do it with your own people. No. It's like, hold on. You would love to help your own people. You know what I'm saying? You would love to help your own people. When people come and they come do anything in my house, like, here you go. I tip. Like, I'm a good tipper. I'm big at that. Like, here, tip. Yep. You did a good job. But I didn't realize what you just said. Like, a lot of black businesses that's in the city, it's night and day. You go to a franchise owned McDonald's, they just say it. Yeah. And what you'll do, they're going there acting a fool. And I'm like, let me speak to the manager. I look at the tag, that is the manager. I'm like, what the world is this? That's the manager.
I know we got to cut it, but I'm going to tell y'all the story. I'm going to tell y'all, it happened today.
That's the story. How to do a close up.
No, I'm going to tell the story afterwards. So we can just close out.
Oh, afterwards. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was so pissed out for me today. I'm like, hey, how you doing? Because I'm always greeting. He's like, and I went off. I like, you gonna look me straight in my face and not say nothing to me after I say hello to you? Where's the manager? Doom, manager. I'm like, you awful. I called right in front of him. I'm like, look, they gonna know how horrible you are as a manager. I spent 45 minutes on the phone with a corporate. I'm like, this is ridiculous. He looked at me like he got a glaze in his eye. Like my money don't mean nothing to him. I'm spending money at your establishment. I don't care if it was 10 or $100.
It could be $1. It's my money.
What an idiot. He just looked at me like he had a bad day. And the messed up part, he talking to somebody about somebody coming to work with a bad attitude. Like, I can't believe they came to work with a bad attitude. I'm like, you came with a bad attitude. You're the leader. You lead by example.
Exactly. Oh my God. That's true. Oh man, this is good. We didn't get to all our questions, but I had to close out.
Next Sunday.
I can't see you. You keep leaning out. No.
Oh, you did.
Yeah.
Next Sunday.
You say next Sunday.
Next Sunday.
Okay, so well, next Sunday, as it did, it got heated.
Yeah, we have to break off into more of the questions that we have for. I guess it would be Generation Z, right?
Yeah.
Is it Z?
I would love to get my dad on here, Adam a chair or something.
Yeah,
We're gonna talk about next week.
Yeah.
What's that? Sex,
Yeah.
Music.
Fashion.
What's that?
I'm
Do we have beliefs on there too?
Yeah, beliefs. Yeah, beliefs are really good as well.
Yeah, because
I'm
some
gonna have to
people
break
believe in
out
whales.
some old music as well.
Three.
To see if y'all know some real music.
Oh.
I don't know if y'all know some real music around this mud.
Yeah.
You know, 'cause this music day and age.
Some of them good.
Some of them good. Don't get me wrong, but you know,
We gonna get into the rap game.
But we gonna get all into that next week.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start with Taariq. If you got anything, just to say in closing until next week.
I mean, see you.
And we're gonna get him to speak more next week.
Yeah, he's gonna speak.
Because he got quiet, even though they was interrupting him.
You told my story. That's all right. Stay tuned for next week. Stay tuned. Sunday.
All right, y'all have a wonderful evening, and we'll see you Sunday with some more interesting feedback from the different generations.
Absolutely. On BeHIP.
BeHIP
Table Talk Live.
Table Talk Live.